Hey guys, this is Jordan from over at Trelawney Productions, and I have a brand new Writer's Corner headed your way. Today's episode is all about formatting your piece. So we've talked about getting into the brainstorming, we've talked about getting inside your characters' heads, getting their physical composition, getting their mental composition, and then we've also talked about your tones and your settings. So what's next to do? You gotta format your piece of what you're wanting to do. Your pieces can be anything from short stories to poems to essays. It's whatever you want to write about. When it comes to essays, there's three well-known forms of essay writing that you want to make sure that you're getting to know first. There is the Modern Language Association, which is MLA. There's the American Psychological Association, that is the APA, and then there's the Associated Press. MLA is more of your college essays and more of your English essays. With the MLA, it's normally the 5-paragraph scheme. It's normally your thesis statement, your 3 body paragraphs restating your statement. So with APA, you look more towards the scientific side of it. You go into items such as different headers, different regions, and you jump from place to place where you can easily follow along. And this is what a lot of colleges use in their writings as well. If you're going into the scientific field, if you are going into the math field, if you are going into any field that isn't really English, I really encourage a lot of high schools to start exploring APA instead of strict MLA. Because MLA, you're only going to use in the English. But if you go into any other courses that you're wanting to do, say engineering, pharmacy, anything that really matters outside of English, even though English definitely matters, and this is why you're watching this, you really need to know that APA format. With AP, that's your Associated Press, you are looking more towards the aesthetics of writing for newspapers, writing for script and radio, and that's what you're using AP for. If you are going into the mass communication field, you need to really sit down and learn that. Another format that you can write in that you would need to know is your poems. Poems do not have a strict code. A lot of people think it's the traditional AB, BC, BC format with rhyming, and you need to rhyme and have those schemes in there, but it really isn't. When you're going into your poem structure, besides the AB format, besides any of that, you really want to look at your stanzas, your commas, and your line breaks. You have different pauses every time that you are reading. A comma or the end of a line or a period is typically a break where you would take a breath. In the commas with poetry, I like to call those as the breath. You're taking a beat, you're taking a pause. When you're going into the next stanza, you're still taking that same pause, but it's less of a pause and you can just keep going and going. If there's no commas, it could be you running out of breath. It just all matters on how you formulate your piece, and if you have that little cliffhangers, if you end on the A or the an, or the and, especially if you have and, like say, I was walking and, I was walking and, I was walking and, where were you going? People will still read, they'll be like, okay, get to the point, and it also adds up suspense. You want to have some suspense in your writing because then it keeps your audience happy, keeps your readers happy, and it keeps you from making some bonehead mistakes on that and keeps them engaged in reading and writing with you. The last one that I'm going to be talking about is what I like to write in a lot, which is your prose and your short stories. Now, what I like to do is write a short story, get everything formulated, and then later on contribute that into a full-on novel. You can do it that way if it works for you. You can do it just a full-on novel. You can do it as just a short story. But what novels really are is just different scenarios, different scenes of a short story plugged into each chapters, and then you end on a little cliffhanger which makes you want to read the next chapter of the story. It's how most people write with their scripts later on down. If they are doing a television show, it's what keeps you hooked and wanting to read next. You have a little bit more of a creative freedom with it. You can make lines as short as you want, you can make lines as long as you want. Not to saying that you can't do that with the other ones, but with this one, there is one key tool that you need to know. It is a must. Take down this note. When you are creating new dialogue between two characters or more. Each time a new person is talking, that is a new paragraph, a new indent. The only exception is if you are writing with one person speaking and they're continuing on with that monologue. But if there is a little break, say if they are rambling on with a monologue, you want to have a break just to break the even flow of the thought, because then it's very easy to get muddied in and to lose yourself in this person's speech and lose interest. You don't want that to happen, so make sure you cut up your paragraphs, but also whenever someone else is talking, make sure you give them a brand new paragraph. That is a must. Alright guys, this week's prompt of the week. You are to find a fairy tale that you enjoy and make a retelling of it. Alright guys, that's it for me. My name is Jordan and I will see you Monday.